learning how to be confident. I've always told the people that I work with that learning how to do anything, learning how to build any habit always begins with awareness. You have to become aware that something needs to change. That's the first step. And I really like this episode because these guys really showed that awareness, when they were like young kids, like 15 years old, and they learned how to be confident. So this is episode 1922, Sam and Colbys, Joe Rogan Experience. Let's get into it. Coach Colin, coolest high performance coach in the world. You want the best insights to the podcasts and videos you love? Hit that subscribe button. Let's get into it.
I'm like really, really good friends at the time. And after like learning how to be confident, we were very shy kids in high school, and learning how to be confident together, which again, we can get into that story if you would like, but.
How did you learn how to be confident?
We were both originally from Kansas, Overland Park, Kansas. We met in band camp when we were 14 years old.
That one time at band camp right there. Yeah. That's where this story starts.
And that's like a horrible story when you started off like that. But it was so bad to the point, like we were just like super socially awkward and very anxious people where.
Like a lot of people.
100%. But like it was so bad to the point where I had to like carry around these like Tums, the anti-acid pills to just like honestly pop before each time I would go into like a new classroom, and just in case I got called on, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't freaking out internally. And so we bonded in band camp because we were both these like shy kids that didn't know how to talk to anybody.
What did you play in band camp?
Well, we both did saxophone. I played marching band, clarinet.
Yeah.
And it was like something that our parents like made us do as well.
And so together you decided you were going to figure out how to be confident.
Yeah.
Yes,
well, we were like, okay, both of us, are sitting there awkwardly being like, okay, I like that girl. You like that girl. We both can't talk to her. So how do we fix this problem? And that was the epitome of our friendship.
That's very analytical.
Yeah. And especially because at that time we were 15. This was like before social media and stuff. And so we just decided one day, we were like, why is Billy over there? Why can he talk like to the hottest girls in the grade? And we're over here like crying in front of people, like trying to talk and stuff. It's not fair.
Well, there's an important lesson there, and it's the lesson of honesty, because some people want to pretend that they don't feel that way. And if you pretend you don't feel that way, but you really do, you're never going to fix it. Mm-hmm. So if you try to play cool, and you're just like setting yourself up, and you're in a trap, because now you have to admit somehow down the line that you were full of shit back
Instead
then.
of facing the problem.
Instead of facing the problem at 15, going, hey, why can't we talk to people? What do we do? Like, let's work this out.
Yeah.
And so what were the steps you took to work it out?
Well, there
Sell your soul to the devil?
Pretty much,
yes.
Actually.
That's what we do.
It ended up getting to that point, and so here we are sitting right here. No, it was really different. I mean, there wasn't that many things to do in Kansas besides exploring abandoned places and then going to the mall. So we decided, okay, what's going to help us with confidence? Let's go to the mall. And Colby and I would literally have my dad, this is before I had a car, so my dad would drop us off at the mall. And I told him, come pick us up at close. And me and Colby would go back and forth and give each other challenges. We're like, all right, I'm going to tell you to go do this really horribly embarrassing thing out in front of other people. And you either do it or you do 100 push-ups. And then he'd say yes or no. And I was like, okay. And then vice versa. And we go back and forth. And basically, the goal is just to put ourselves out of our comfort zone as much as humanly possible.
And again, I think the only reason we were able to make this work is because we had a brand new friendship. And so there was part of me that I was like, I can't let this guy think I can't do this. You know what I mean? Right. And vice versa. And so, yeah, we were just looking up YouTube videos, honestly, as embarrassing as it sounds, how to pick up girls, how to talk to people, how to be more social and stuff like that. And then we'd take the things that we learned and then we'd go to the mall and throw ourselves in the most uncomfortable situations just to get out of our comfort zone and really take chances and grow as people.
That's actually...
Man, that's amazing. That's really, really smart that they do that. And that's what Joe's about to say there. When you're like, oh, you cut it off. He's going to be like, that's actually really smart. That's what he says. But yeah, completely pushing yourselves out of your comfort zone. Selling your soul to the devil thing, that came out of nowhere. I think I missed that the first time I listened to this, but I don't know, Hollywood, right? But yeah, it's amazing that they had the foresight, and this is how all habit building begins. You have the awareness that there's a problem, and then you address the problem aggressively. When I say aggressively, I don't mean you beat yourself up, you kill yourself, or you don't do it until there is a negative return on what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And by negative returns, I mean like trying to do 1,000 push-ups a day. It's like 100 may be good for you. 150 may be too much. By the time you get to 1,000, you've injured yourselves. Can't work out for now 6 weeks. Negative returns. So you don't do it until that point, but they would do it in such a healthy way. Like, we can't talk to people. Let's go to this place where there's people and let's go and talk to people every single day. Like such a good way of thinking about, and even, forget praising them. What could you do that you're not good at? Like, how can you find, again, bringing it back to them, how could you find your mall and, do the thing continuously every day to improve whatever it is that you're trying to do? Like, if you find yourself being introverted, maybe you should go to a mall and try to talk to people. Jordan Peterson has this practice where he talked about a client where he'd be like, how about, maybe it was just a premise he was setting up, but it's like, go to a party and introduce yourself to 2 people. And if you can do that, we'll consider that success. Maybe it's working out for you. I know some people who have been way too uncomfortable to even go into a gym because of their appearance. They think people are looking at them, this, that. It's like, maybe if you have a problem going to the gym, you go into the gym and just do a set of something. Grab a machine and just pump it 20 times and then leave. And then you can consider that success. Anytime I'm working with somebody, I always have them give me a big goal that they're looking to achieve that may even seem to them like out of reach. And then I just have 2-minute rule. You can look it up. It's a thing. Atomic Habits, James Clear, and probably somebody else who invented it, but James Clear talks about it. That's who I learned it from. The 2-minute rule. You break that thing down to where it only takes 2 minutes for you to accomplish whatever it is. Right? So if you have a really big goal, I'd love for you to learn from these guys, become aware of it. If you're already aware of it, now it's time to take small steps towards, I want to say, the opposite. Like, so if you can't talk to people, you have to walk towards being somebody who can talk to people. If you can't work out, you have to walk towards becoming somebody who can work out. If you have never started a business, you have to walk towards becoming somebody who starts and operates a business. And just find the smallest thing you can do. If somebody has a finance goal that I'm working with, they're like, I want to set my kids up for life financially. I'm like, okay, so what's the smallest thing you can do? For them, it was just going to the mall and talking to people, which is actually kind of really big. That's crazy. Just talking to random people, that's kind of really up there. But for some people, I'll just look at them and say, okay, so I want you to just read an article every day about finance. I want you to just get into the mode of every day you learn about finance a little bit and a little bit. Because over the course of a year, let's say, that turns into quite a well of knowledge. You're going to know some things. You're going to be able to sit down with somebody who knows nothing like you did a year ago, and you're going to be able to educate them just a little bit. So, I don't know. I just really like the fact that they were pushing themselves out of their comfort zone, and it turned into them being on the Joe Rogan Experience. That, I always talk about it, and it sounds like a broken record, but again, stuff like that is possible for you. These guys were introverted kids who decided to talk to people, and that snowballed into a career, which snowballed to them being on Joe Rogan's show. And even beyond being on Joe Rogan's show, the kids are millionaires. I mean, they're not going to talk about it because I notice like millionaires never do, but these kids are millionaires. They make millions of dollars for sure. If they're not in the multi-millions, they're at least touching like 1 point something million each for sure. And it's all because they decided to just step outside their comfort zone. Step outside their comfort zone. Step outside their comfort zone. So, to you, I would say, step outside your comfort zone. However that looks. All right? I'm out.